Living Clean is a presentation of the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness and is brought to you by Vita Novus Treatment Centre and Addictions 911.
Hi everyone and welcome to Living Clean. I'm your host Glenn Allen. Tonight on the program, I'm going to be talking about trauma and addictions. So of course we want your phone calls as soon as you can on the lines. The phone lines are open already. Want to know your experiences, anything that you're struggling with. And joining me on this set this evening is Debbie Bang, and Debbie is the Integrated Manager of Womankind Addiction Service, as well as Integrated Manager at the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management Center. It's a mouthful, but I got it. Yes.
You did.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We always love having you on this program. And tell us what is going on, because I know you guys, everybody down at Womankind Addiction Service and Men's Withdrawal Management Center, both in Hamilton, you guys have so many different programs going and helping so many people. Talk about both places.
Okay. Womankind is a all-in-one, ultimately, place for women. So withdrawal management, treatment program, as well as a day and residential program. And then we also have pre-treatment and post-treatment for women. And actually we're working on with the women an aftercare, which maybe we'll call Women of Wisdom. I'm not sure what we're going to end up calling it, but it's going to be after the 2 years are done, recreational pieces, some additional learning, potentially a book group, some speakers, stuff that was still missing in their life that they'd like to do together as a group. So that's what's happening at Womankind. At Men's, we continue to have a withdrawal management program, and we have a day program, which, oh gosh, I think we're 2.5 years now with a day program, and it's been exceptionally successful. It's really sort of a transition for men who are not yet able to get into treatment or haven't yet made that decision. And a number of the men are really feeling good about having finished their withdrawal, but not quite ready to commit to treatment, or else they have committed to treatment, but they don't have a spot yet. So they continue in the program. We have one man who's been there months.
Really?
For our 3-week program.
That's okay.
But he's doing brilliantly. He's really doing brilliantly. So.
Well, you know what? When you have somebody who's willing,
yeah,
and obviously that person, that man is willing. So, sir, God bless you. Because hey, I was there when I did my run through back in 1998. 1998, I was there 11 days, and back then it was like a few days.
Yes, exactly.
And you were back out.
3 to 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5 days, and and then I went through the intense 4-week program in 5 weeks.
Sometimes remedial is helpful for some.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, but when you want it bad enough, and in my case, I've said it here on the program before. I felt that I was kind of wronged in my first week in my program, and I fought for myself.
Yep.
And I felt, but on the Friday I wanted to stay, and on Tuesday I was ready to go. But
after all that work.
But you know what? It was something I needed to do.
Yeah.
And it was true though. But on Friday I wasn't ready to go, and on the Tuesday I was ready to go. And those extra days did make a difference in my life. And then when I did leave, I stayed. I was out one weekend and stayed with friends, and then I went into Wayside. And people will know if they know Wayside now. It's like 10 weeks, and back when I went through, I was there 5.5 months. So
but
much different program back then.
Yeah, but that's what you needed.
Sure, and there's nothing wrong. You look at the programs. There's lots of Vita Novus, sponsor of this program. They have 45, 60, and 90-day programs, and there's Teen Ranch, a year program.
Yeah.
Different places, Homewood, Bellwood, all these different places have the long-term programs. For some people is the way to go, because as we talk tonight, we know that Where there is addiction, so many times, a very high percentage, we have trauma. It's like the
Yep.
chicken and the egg. And it's one thing putting the alcohol, drugs, gambling, cutting, whatever it is, down, but then what's left is dealing with the trauma.
Yeah.
And there's such a high percentage of that, and I'd like you to talk about that.
Yeah, it's
Because you see it both sides.
I
in
do,
the men's and
and
women's.
actually, when I first started at men's, I didn't think that it was going to be as high as it is, and I'm not sure where that notion came. Perhaps it's a societal kind of thinking, but as time went by, it's become increasingly clear to me that part of what addiction is about is not being able to talk about my story in the public, or somebody to hear it in a way that's going to be helpful for me. And at some level, people have got to find a way to cope with that. So alcohol, other substances, they work exceptionally well at making the pain go away for a period of time.
Yeah.
The difficulty is it causes some new stuff. And so often, especially with vulnerable men and women, they end up being re-traumatized
Oh,
while they're using.
There are so many. Even when a man or a woman comes into various forms of being abstinent. Now you're dealing with all those feelings and emotions and being re-victimized in some ways, or dealing with the trauma without self-medicating.
Yes.
Now you have to deal with this stuff, and if you don't have the proper help and the proper assistance and the proper guidance, oh my Lord.
And sometimes when they go for some help, it's not what they need.
No.
And or somebody doesn't believe them.
Yeah.
And that causes them to go underground again.
Yeah.
And then it could be years.
The validation that anyone suffering trauma needs to hear. And the people say, what can I do? I've had, this past week, the number of people who I've talked to at my office with the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness, or through the CCAA to my office, or just people talking to me in general, asking what they can do, how they can help guide somebody.
Yeah.
And they say, what can I do? And there was one person in particular who said, this is what I did. And they listened. And that is the first step, is to let the person talk to you.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt them. Let them talk.
Yeah. And to be present when you're hearing them.
Yeah.
So not only to hear what they're saying, but to also reflect it back that you actually did hear them, and check out that you got the right message.
Yeah.
What you might say, trauma, you might use those words, I might think is something different.
Yeah.
And trauma comes in so many forms. Sometimes it's experiencing it yourself, but sometimes it's watching it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's being beaten up. Sometimes it's fear of being beaten up.
Yep.
Sometimes it is seeing a horrendous situation and feeling helpless
Totally.
to do something about that. And when you add all those pieces up together, it becomes really difficult for people to push that away and be able to sleep at night, or to get through their day. A siren going off, a big noise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you do with that. We're going to go to our first break, and the phone lines are filling up. Thank you very much. We're going to go right to the phones when we come back. And you have people coming from war-torn countries.
Yeah.
You have people who may not have been abused themselves, but grew up watching a parent beat on another parent,
Yeah, exactly.
and they witnessed it. That is trauma.
And feeling helpless to do anything about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And especially if something happened, whether it's fatality or otherwise, or to a sibling, and they felt helpless, and all they could do was watch.
Yeah.
So there are so many different, we talk about sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. There's so many different things that can happen. And when you also have the addiction that goes with it, and there's so many different addictions. So the lines are open for you, always open lines. Okay, so if you don't fall into what we're talking about tonight, it's okay. The phone lines are always open for you to make a phone call to us. And of course, if you want to talk about what we're talking about, all the better. Phone lines are wide open, and when we come back from the break, the phone lines are filling up. We're going to go right to the phones when we come back. You're watching Living Clean. We'll be back right after this.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. Go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vida Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Living Clean. Glenn Allen, Debbie Bang. Tonight, a theme, addiction and trauma, and as well the phone lines are open for you to call in and ask any question that you'd like about anything in regards to abuse, addiction, or mental health. And we're going to go right to the phone calls. Lynn is on line 6 in Lake Simcoe. Hi Lynn, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
Very well. Please go ahead.
Yes, Dippy, I'm enjoying your program. I listen to you all the time.
Thank you.
And Dippy mentioned that there is she helps out both men and women in Hamilton.
Yep.
And I know of a couple that had their ups and downs with abuse of smoking, marijuana.
Okay.
And they got away from it, and I'm afraid they may be going back to it.
Okay.
And I'm there to hear them, and I listen to them, but I'd like to guide them further where they can turn to. I can remember a long time ago when they were young, I used to phone Teen Challenge and ask them to pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that prayer works. The good Lord's with us all the time. And
sure. Well, it's always the recovery is spiritual, and the spirituality is a big part of it. But Lynn, thanks very much for the phone call.
Lynn, what I would suggest is part of what they perhaps need is someone who's a good listener. But I don't know whether or not you've said to them that you're concerned about their use. And that's always helpful for people to hear as well. Sometimes when people are actively involved in abuse of substances, they don't see how much they're really using. They don't think about it from somebody else's perspective. So I would invite you, if you feel okay to do that, to let them know that you're concerned about them, that and what it is they're using. And the other thing is, there's if any of you have access to the internet, there's a program called DART, D-A-R-T, and it's a listing of all of the drug and addiction programs throughout Ontario. It's a free call, it's a 1-800 call, plus there's a website, and they can help direct you to what services might be available in that community if they're willing to talk to somebody.
Yeah, Lynn, are you still there? No, Lynn's gone. It depends where they are. Now, Lynn did say that because you were in Hamilton, I think they might be in the Hamilton area.
Okay.
So, Jeff, if you can put up the information from Womankind and Men's Withdrawal Management, that would be great. So, if you're thinking in this area, Lynn, there's the information where Debbie's from. Okay. And there's the withdrawal management as well.
And both of those are 24-hour services, so someone could call and speak to a counselor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't have to give your name if you're not comfortable doing that, but it's somebody who can help with some problem solving, next steps, where to go from here.
Yep. And as well, Jeff, if you can throw up the Vida Novus information as well. Lynn, if you're looking for a place for them to go, you can go online to vidanovus.ca as well. because they have a bed available pretty much immediately. So if you want to get their information online, their website's right there as well. Okay, we're going to go to Michael on line 4. Mike, how are you?
Hey, Glenn, how are you doing this evening?
I'm very well. How are you?
Well, you know, you can always say you've been better or you've been worse, right?
That's right.
My addiction is the all too infamous OxyContin.
Yes, sir.
I was on it before I started mildly and never through drug of choice, but it was just medication from my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And after an accident, I was hit by a van in '08, and I got sciatic nerve difficulties and problems with both hips, and a broken left wrist that never healed. And so I depend on them, but I think the drug is driving me reclusively insane, and I like to get help.
Okay. It's you're talking about something that's a very, very big problem right now. So you're not the only one who's struggling with opiate addiction at this point in time. In fact, we've seen a 500% increase in both of our services over the last 4 or 5 years. It's very significant. One of the things that you might want to talk to, and I don't know what your relationship is with your family doctor or the doctor that you're getting the oxys from, is to talk about if there's another option for you in terms of weaning, using something else, perhaps a referral to a pain clinic that might help you to manage your pain in a different way. And if you can think about pain as something that is perceived, so you have the option of some other strategies that might be helpful in helping you manage that pain day to day. And the other thing you might think about is whether you are ready to go on something like a methadone program, which will help manage your pain, but you're not going to get the highs and lows as you would with the oxy.
Michael, let me ask you. I know you're in Ontario. Can you tell me kind of whereabouts you are?
If I didn't have the OxyContin, I don't want to get hooked on another trip on another drug. Do you understand?
Yes.
Like, it would have to be cold turkey, or well, not cold turkey. Like, I'm sure you have. Hopefully, you have some sort of treatment program that helps you with all. Like, but I need basically constant care. Like, every day, I'm happy to have my 3 sandwiches that are easy to make and a couple of tins of Ensure. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Michael, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Southern Ontario.
Southern Ontario? Okay. Are you online? Do you have a computer?
No.
No?
I did, and I got scammed. So.
Okay. Listen, Jeff, throw up the 800 number for Vita Novus, if you can, or you see that number there, Michael?
I wrote down a couple of them. You just got studio lines up.
Yeah, this is the number right now, the 905-642-4664. You can call that number 24 hours. Okay? And you're probably going to get John. And that is a gentleman that you want to talk to. Okay? About your oxys. And if you want to talk to John and talk about coming off them and talking about going into treatment, okay, that's an option for you, okay?
The thing is, I have the constant pain. My pain is legit and real.
I know.
Nobody's saying that it isn't.
But they have something that, if that's the case, then they'll work through that for you and with you, okay? That's what I'm saying. They're a group that can work through something like that with you. Okay?
I feel like I'm being punished. You know how my higher power is the Lord, and His Word says these people suffer for lack of knowledge. It's like not calling in for weeks and weeks and months and years watching your show. I've never called in.
Yep.
So
I hear you. I understand that, but what I want you to do is I'm going to send you to a guy who will be able to help you. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. If you call there, okay, they'll be able to work with you. They work with guys like you who have that pain, and and what I'm saying is he'll work with you, and he'll help you. Okay.
Well, I'll give it a shout.
Okay, give it a shot. Okay. And if not, then call me back. All right. We'll work with you.
All right.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
All the best, Mike.
Take
Thanks,
care.
buddy.
Yep.
You take care. Now we're going to go line 5 to Tom in Scarborough. Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, go ahead.
How's it going there, buddy?
Good. You?
I'm all right, man. I'm telling you, every time I smoke, I just turn somebody else. I don't know what's been going on with me, man. I'm addicted.
I think we lost you there, pal. Let's try Marie on line 6. Hi, Marie, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Hi, go ahead, please.
All I'm doing is calling in to let you know that I had an experience in 1981,
Okay.
and it was an addiction to Valium.
Okay.
And those pills were prescribed to me for a long time. I was on them 7 years and didn't know I was doing wrong. And I finally went to see a doctor because after 7 years, some sort of depression was really bad, and I think the pills had reached a point where they weren't effective anymore.
Yeah.
Something,
that
I don't know. I
happens.
was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was hospitalized, and to this day, I'm well.
Good.
But I'm telling you, it was the worst nightmare of my life. I didn't realize I was addicted. I just took them and thought I needed them.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that have a terrible, terrible addiction. You are a prisoner to those pills. It's really sad. And all I can say is this. The doctor who helped me, he had passed away, I had heard. But without him, I could never have done it. He was strict, he was strong, and he told me, you, young lady, are going into the hospital. That's exactly what happened to me. I was there a month. And let me tell you, when I look back and I think if I didn't have him to tell me what to do, I think I ran away from the hospital too one day. I was so frightened, but I ended up going back because he had he told me you're going to need to get well and you're going to have to. I won't give you any more pills. I was in a corner. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just terrible. So I sympathize with everyone in
Yep.
this situation and say to you, go to your doctor. Ask for help. Don't ever let this go.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, that's great advice, Marie. Thank you. We're going to go to, and just before we do, I mean, it's there's that out there, and there are those good doctors, and unfortunately, and this is just God's honest truth, there are some GPs out there that don't want their patients coming to them because they don't know what to do with them.
Yep.
You know, and that's, you know, they come back and they want to, the people are there looking at them. Number one, you know, and this comes from an actual doctor, we're trained to hand the medication out,
Not take it back.
but this one doctor said, don't, as you know, the ones with the addictions, you know, in all my training, he said, we take like half a day. And all the years of training with addiction.
That's starting to change. Thanks goodness.
But we're talking about these doctors that a lot of people have been with for
That's
all
right.
these years, and they don't know Bo Diddley about the addiction. So these people are now going back to them. Yes, it's changing, but we're hitting some of these doctors that are going, I don't know what to do with you. I don't want to talk to you.
Well,
you know,
hopefully they
for
can-
truth to be known.
Yeah.
So the patient, these people are going back and hoping the doctor can, and they're not sure what to do with them. So, you know, these people who are going back wide-eyed and going, please help me. Some, certainly not all, but some of them, they're as lost as the patient is.
Yeah.
So that's why we do a show like this, so we can introduce you to people like Debbie Bang and like the people who have places where people can call and go whose specialty is to help people like you
With an addiction.
who are out there who are fighting with and battling strongly and courageously against your addictions and your traumas. And that's why the CCAA and the sexual assault centers and all these other places are out there to help people as well. And now we're coming together to work together because we know that they go together.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Jeff, we're gonna take our break right now, and when we come back, we're gonna go to Kathy on the line, John's on the line, lots of people on the line, couple lines open. So if you want to get to be part of the conversation here, couple lines open, get on the phones. We're kind of coming up on the midnight hour. Don't wait till after midnight to get on the phones because we have a hard time getting to you. Back with more Living Clean right after this.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. Go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vida Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
Is someone else's drinking affecting your life? Does it make you feel angry?
Don't yell at me because you're mad at your mom. She's the drunk, not me.
Does it make you feel sorry for yourself?
Hey, Tanya's drinking again, and maybe next time.
Or does it even make you feel frightened?
Does Daddy have to drink so much?
No matter how you feel, we can help. We're Al-Anon family groups, and we know what it's like. Just call 1-888-4-AL-ANON. To help them, you have to help yourself first.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Living Clean. Glenn, Debbie, and before we take these other calls, I got a memo just before we went on air. 10th anniversary for the Swim for Cure.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've done a lot of great work. Tell us a little bit about the Swim for Cure, because I understand coming up on July 24th, it's not 13 kilometers this time, it's 25 kilometers for you swimming.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm a little bit sore at the moment because I did a 10K in 70-degree water today. So,
well, at least it was 70
exactly.
degree water.
Yeah, it's an event to raise funds for breast cancer.
Yes.
Which is on both my sides and my first lump at 17. And almost 100 swimmers have swum with me through the years, and we're just shy of 100,000 raised in the 9 years.
Good for you.
So I'm expecting the most swimmers again this year, so probably 30 for the 12.8K swim, and about 6 or 7 of us are gonna portage at Big Chute, take our canoes and ourselves and slather on some more sunscreen and get back in the water and swim another 12.8K.
That's July 24th,
Yep.
Severn River.
Severn River, it's just off the 400 extension, up in the Muskoka.
Beautiful area. Up in Muskoka, yes. Yes, gal. 'Cause we used to say yes, guy in the sports show. So
there you go.
Yes, gal.
Yes,
Colleen
gal.
gets that at home, yes. Yes, gal. Yeah. And I have to say happy birthday to Brandon. Turned 7 today. He's sleeping right now, but we have DVDs, and the kids sometimes get to watch little
appreciate.
snippets. And we'll go fast forward to this part so I can say happy birthday to Brandon. Anyway, speaking of the North, Kawartha, Kathy is on line 1. Kathy, how are you? Kathy, you there? Who lost her? Did Doug lose her? Oh, Jeff lost her? Oh, way to go. Kathy, call back, okay? Jeff lost her. Oh, my goodness. Jeff? Okay, we'll go to John on line 4 in Hamilton. Hopefully Jeff hasn't lost him.
Hello?
John, you there?
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm good, thanks. Pretty good. I just appreciate your show. You're really helping people, and that's great.
Thank you.
I'm no angel, but I do try to, live a good life. I guess what you're doing is very good to help people like you do. So I really appreciate your. I've never really watched this program. I think I watched it once, and this is like the second time maybe. So that's great that you help people.
Great, thank you. Do you have a question?
Not really. I guess I don't know. I guess I have questions. I don't know. I'm a little bit sad sometimes.
Are you?
Well, life can be a little bit trying sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay.
Okay, well, thanks for the call. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. And, hey.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes. Yes, Guy. And we're going to go to line 5. And Marie, is that a different Marie? I don't know. Marie, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Cool.
I'm sorry to be bothering you by calling again.
That's
and
okay.
I just thought I'd better tell you that when it happened to me many years ago, in 1981, I was referred to a psychiatrist, and it was the psychiatrist that knew how to put me. He knew immediately I had to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the family doctor. I don't think they knew how to handle it, the family doctor, but it was a psychiatrist who did the treatment.
Yeah.
And even after the month that I was in and I came home, you need almost a whole year to get well. You're very delicate, very, very delicate.
Yeah.
So I'm just wanting you to know that the psychiatrist did the work, and I'll just never forget him. He had real authority over me, and it was because of his authority and his strictness that I got well.
Yep.
Really glad to hear that.
Yeah, thanks, Marie. Appreciate it. Yeah, and it's true too. I mean, when you go into even going into treatment, I mean, there's a willingness, I think, that has to be on the part of the person going in.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say? I mean, you have to.
There really is no sense to come if you don't want to be there, because
Yeah.
it's hard work. Treatment is hard work. It's bringing out the things that you've kept the lid on for
Mhm.
a period of time, and that's how you've been coping and finding different ways to solve the day-to-day problems.
Yeah.
And it's good work. We all should go through it, actually.
Yeah.
Learn how to problem solve and how to think in different ways, but
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference for people.
Yeah, but I've known some. I know it's tough for some people when you go through treatment and they're there because work sent them or whatever the case may be. But I've talked to some of those people, and when they finally got it, those times going through treatment weren't wasted.
No.
I know you have to be willing and what that, but there's still that, some of the people that when they've been made to go, later on in life, when they finally get it, there's stuff that sticks.
Yeah.
If you go through 12-step for a while and you have your slips and you might go back out or whatever, and you can't sit around there and not get anything.
Yeah, and I think if nothing else, you begin to think a little bit differently. That there
it makes
is
it
a world
harder to be out there.
Exactly. There is something else that can give me some joy in a day. There is something else that I can find some meaning in. There is something else that will make me happy today.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be that substance, whatever it is. And each time you have one of those experiences, you learn from that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go to line 2. Joanne's in St. Catharines. Joanne, how are you?
Good.
Go ahead, please.
I've been on Ritalin since '93.
Yep.
And I don't think it's working anymore, and I'd like to get off of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, when somebody wants to get off Ritalin,
Are
since
you
1993?
on Ritalin with your doctor? Your doctor's aware of it?
Yeah, and he was a new doctor that was given to me, about 3 years ago, and a while ago I had mentioned to him that I'd like to get off of it because I've been on it since '93, and you should have seen his face because he knows it's going to be a very difficult drug to get off. Basically, the only way, from what I've been told, that I can get off of it is going to a homeopathic doctor that's going to put you on herbs.
There are some other options, and if your doc isn't sure about those, he can give a call through to the physician's line at the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, and they will be able to tell him what strategies to do with you. Usually it's a weaning process, and sometimes symptoms will change for you, and so he may need to look at, you know, what might work better for you instead of that. But if you've been on essentially for 7 years, it may not be doing what it needs to do for you any longer, or it might not have been the right medication in the first place. So I would talk with your doctor. You might want to get the number for him for CAMH, and if you just call into the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, they have a pharmacy line and a doctor's line that he can speak to directly, and they will tell him how to wean you off of that, and or to think about what other options there might be for you.
Yeah, their 800 number's on the screen now. Do you see that?
Oh, super, thank you.
Joanne?
If you could read it out to me.
Yeah, it's on the screen now. It's 1-800.
Yes.
463.
463, yes.
Yeah, 6273. And that's CAMH in Ontario. If you call that number, you can talk to some professionals there.
Okay.
Okay?
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Best
Okay,
of luck
Joanne.
with it.
Yeah, good luck to you, okay? All right, we're going to go to Kathy on line 1 in the Kawarthas, or Kawartha. See if she's there this time. Hopefully Jeff hasn't dropped her. Hi, Kathy. How are you on line 1?
Hi, Glenn. How are you?
Good. Go ahead, please.
I talked to you about a month ago about a granddaughter that was in foster care.
Yes.
And on drugs and booze and whatever.
Yeah.
And she has a Facebook, and she deleted everybody off it that has any contact with me except for one person. And since I've talked to you, I've been in contact with this person, and she's really concerned because I know she's allowed, from the foster home, she's allowed every weekend to come into a city close by and hang out with her friends.
Yeah.
And she's doing bongs, whatever that is, I don't know. Quite proud of smoking joints, 40-pounders of booze and whatever. She's 14 years old. And I questioned the CAS on this, and they said that they have no proof of her doing this and that they can't just up and stop her from hanging out with her friends. She's been kicked out of school for drinking, so she's not in school at all.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, my friend sent pictures to the CAS of all this stuff that had been posted. So they're aware of it.
Yeah.
They've got all the pictures. Well, I can't let them know that I have those pictures, because if they say how they got them, then we're euchred, right? Well, I'm also receiving pictures this coming week. And I'm not sure how to go about it, because I think the CAS is just enabling her to carry on with this. And I'm like, I don't understand why she's allowed to hang out with her friends. I don't understand any of this stuff. Like, the more she drinks and the more drugs she does, like, how much damage is being done to her brain, to her internal organs.
Yeah, yeah. Deb?
And you said she was 14?
Yeah, she's 14 years old.
Yeah. So very, very commonly, and you know, we don't know who you're speaking about, but very commonly with somebody who's using that kind of substance with friends, there's a reason why that's happening, and it often is related to a lot of pain that they're feeling inside, a lot of hurt that they might be feeling. I don't know if there's any possibility that something's happened in her past, or there's some trauma. You said that she's in a foster home, so she's not with her parents at this point in time. So whether or not there's, maybe what CAS might be able to help with is looking specifically at or talking with her about anything that might be causing her to not feel good about herself, because the substance that she's using is, as you've said, is not good for her, and it is a lot, if that's exactly what she is using. And it's a pattern that she's getting herself into that puts her very much at risk of being hurt again or harmed, or someone taking advantage of her, or difficult situations. So I think where I might work from is having CAS talk to her about whether or not there's things that aren't going really well in her life, perhaps some counseling that might help to start with.
Well, she's getting counseling, but I don't feel it's the right type of counseling because she's been going for 2 years and she's just getting worse and worse. But where she's partying and that, we're talking guys 25 and 26 years old, and like they just post on Facebook, hey, got a 40-pounder, hey, got this or that, who's going to be here? And the next thing you know, there's about 10 kids saying, we'll be there.
Yeah. And again, what's on Facebook is not always accurate, but you might encourage Children's Aid to look at that potential problem, or if there is a problem there. And I don't know if you have a relationship with her and might be able to spend some time or have her do things that are fun, that aren't related to using substances or hanging out with her friend. 14-year-olds can be a challenging age group for sure, but sometimes they are willing to do things with other people and find some joy in doing something like that.
Yeah. Are you saying that she doesn't have any relationship with you right now?
Not right now, because I'm telling her that she's making bad choices, and I've asked her how I can help her, and she says she has no problem. And I said, well, when you come to my house and drunk, and you smash windows out of my doors, and yes, you have a problem.
Yeah. Do you have any relationship with Children's Aid?
They're basically kicking me to the curb. And they're just, because they don't like me saying, why is she allowed to do this? Like, what are you people doing, you know?
Yeah.
And if I suggest her getting more expensive help, they just say, well, she's over 12. We can't make her go here. We can't make her go there.
Yeah. And Mom and Dad are completely out of the picture?
Her dad died of a drug overdose, and he was just...
Oh, well, that's right, yeah.
...doors to the hospital, right? And her mom, we haven't seen her in over 10 years. But she's hardcore
So
drugs, I
that.
guess, up not too far from you guys, and just on the streets and whatever. So, like, I mean, yeah, she's a hurting kid, and I know that.
Yeah.
Are you the guardian?
I'm still the legal guardian.
Okay, is she going to school at all?
No. She got kicked out for drinking.
Not at all, okay. Well, I think that if you're the legal guardian, you have some rights to be concerned, and you have some, you need to be listened to. And if that's what you're concerned about, maybe coming at it from a different angle and not so much talking about the substances she's using, but more about what other activities might we help her to get involved in that could be a more positive influence on her. Is there a sport? Is there some theater? Is there some dance? Is there some, some sort of activity like cooking or reading or a little part-time job or planting? I mean, it could be anything that she might be interested in that would give her some meaning besides just hanging out with her friends.
She has no interest in anything at
No,
all.
she doesn't.
See, she was diagnosed when she was really young with selective mutism too, you know, and that was a struggle because the fear of speaking and stuff, and you know, and then we ended up moving, and where we moved to, the kids didn't want to accept her because she wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
And where we were, it didn't matter whether she talked or not. The kids just loved her and had a great time with her.
Yeah. Kathy, we can't solve this tonight. If you want, give me a call in the office again, and we'll talk a little more, okay?
Have a good night.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. You take care, okay? And we'll go to another Kathy on line 4. Hi, Kathy. You there? Kathy, you there?
Lost her.
Get one Kathy, lose another Kathy. Let's go to our break, and we'll come back. There's some more calls, and we'll start with Susie in Toronto after the break. You're watching Living Clean. We'll be back right after this.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vida Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
And welcome back to Living Clean. Glenn Allen, Debbie Bang, and we're going to go right back to the phones. Line 5, Susie is in Toronto. Hi, Susie. How you doing? Alrighty then. Let's go to line 2 and see if Mike from Hamilton's there. You there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, please.
Well, I was just wondering, like years ago, I was into the speed scene, right? And that was probably in the 70s, right? A little bit in the 80s, maybe. And, like, our family was dysfunctional, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was quite young, but you probably know a good friend of mine, Billy R.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and like I'm in touch with him a little bit, you know, and I don't know. I had lung surgery, right?
Sure.
And I'm taking these pills, and I like Lyricas and like a hillbilly heroin, I guess they call it, right, for pain, right? And like I tell you, without some of these pills, I'm just dying in pain, right?
Yeah.
You know, and like, I don't know, it's tough. It's a tough go.
How long you been on them, Mike?
Probably since my surgery, I guess.
How long ago was that?
That was, I think it was 04.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been about 6 years or 7,
Yeah.
maybe.
Have you talked to your doctor at all about managing your pain?
No, my doctor just says that, well, maybe you ought to take 10 Lyrica a day and take, 4 of these hillbilly heroines a day.
Yeah.
And like I have 4 different doctors, right? I have a lung doctor, I have a respirologist, I have a family doctor, right?
Yep.
And then I have a doctor for about the nerve damage, right?
Sure.
So, but I don't know, like, I didn't phone the show to complain or anything, that's for sure, because, like I believe in the Lord, and like at times I don't trust him though, right? And sometimes for me that's very hard to do, to trust, eh?
Sure.
And like I've done time, right, and stuff too, right? And I don't know what the heck to do, like it just seems like I don't have an option anymore. It seems like Jesus Christ just doesn't want anything to do with me or something.
Well, you know what, and not to, we don't usually get into that on this show, but I can tell you this. First of all, Mike, I want to thank you for the phone call, and thanks for the courage to call in, and that statement surely isn't true, my brother, because he doesn't give up on any of us. You, me, Billy, and all the rest of us are here because he loves us. And when blokes like us get these chances to continue on our lives, he's watching over us, and he has watched over us for a long time. So there is a tremendous amount that we all have to do. And if you're a little bit down and out, give William a call. and William can give me a call, and we'll all get together. Okay? All right? And
Is there a chance off the air I could give you my number?
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's put Mike back on hold. Mike will give Doug his number, and Mike, I'll give you a call, and you, me, and Billy will get together this week sometime, okay? Done deal, that's it, that's all. And you know what, with our remaining time, what I would like to do is, first of all, I want to talk about the trauma-informed care retreat coming up on Tuesday, June 15th in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something, this is certainly something pretty special.
It is.
Tell us about that, because the more the CCAA and the OPP, we had our male victimization, understanding and responding to male sexual victimization, so that's the trauma side, and Savis had one very similar in Oakville, and now you're doing this in cooperation and partnership with CAS Canada and Tom Regier, and hope I said that all right. I was talking to Tom the other day, and I get to be a little part of this, which is really great because I'm going to be able to network and meet everybody, which is great. But tell us what it's all about and who, because I know you and your crew are a big part of pulling this all together. So this opportunity to give all your shout outs and to everybody.
So why we wanted to do it in the first place is becoming increasingly clear to us that people that are presenting in either our mental health or our addiction services have some common factors, which are trauma, and those are the client group that we really don't feel we're doing as good a work or good a job as we could with. So we decided that it might be helpful for people to better understand what trauma-informed work looks like. So how do I make, from the moment they make the telephone call to us, to the moment they get involved with our service, to the moment that they leave and are in a much better place, how do I make sure that we're aware that they might have had trauma in their background and what that service should look like? So we've got somebody coming to talk. Catherine Klassen is coming to talk first thing. We have several voices of experience that are going to be there, because that's the greatest message for practitioners to hear, is what would have made a difference for me if this had looked like this when I got into the system, and a chance for those practitioners to hear. So frontline team members are there. There's leadership that are going to be at this meeting, and we're also very clearly making it a trauma-informed day. So we have different techniques for helping people to ground if they're triggered by the content. We have a number of voices of experience that are going to be able to tell us what would make a difference for them. We have ensured that we have people, if they're troubled, that they're able to talk with. We have even right down to the gifts that we're going to be giving to people that can be used in their own agencies to help people that are working on trauma. So it's going to be a really excellent day. We anticipate that we'll better understand what agencies are currently doing, but more importantly, that people are going to walk out there with a commitment and a strategy for how me personally and my organization can be better trauma-informed when I'm working with clients.
And that's the component that if you take one area, and we're talking Hamilton right now, that's one city, one community at a time. We try to bring people together and go, let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. And this is how everything's happening here.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are doing a great job over here with addiction. We're dealing with trauma. But one of the new things in trauma is there's more men coming forward.
Absolutely.
One aspect. Not this. That's not why we're doing all this, but one aspect is more men coming forward with trauma and abuse. So okay, we're going to add that, and could be something else in addiction, because we have the hillbilly heroin, the OxyContin, like Mike was saying, right? So we have this, and all these different things. So we come together, and that is certainly something that is needed, because we have to know what each other's doing. One of the things that you had mentioned when we were talking before, how, and this question kind of stuck with me, how do you properly deal with deeply wounded individuals?
Yeah.
And that's a question that anyone dealing with individuals with addiction or trauma, you need to know and be able to answer that question.
Yeah.
So how do you?
Well, it's a combination of stuff. From our perspective, we really believe that you need to work from a stages of change perspective. So matching what the person needs with what we've got available. But with somebody who has a lot of trauma in their background or a lot of hurts, it's not easy for them to go to this agency for this and that agency for that and something else for this because they don't trust. So part of what you really want to do is you want to build a relationship with someone and you want to make it okay for them to come and so that they're safe there. And as we begin to do that, they begin to tell us what they need, especially if we're listening. And then our job may be to either provide it for them where they are or to assist them to get to that next place, whether you go with them or you bring that person to your location so that they feel, again, safe to be able to have that conversation. Ultimately, we know that people who are successful have a gigantic network around them. All kinds of support people, all kinds of, and even minor little things like saying hello to the mailman or waving to the crossing guard. These are all people in our life that help us to feel better and good about us, part of our routine, make us smile.
Do you find, and I don't know if with 3 minutes left, this is a fair question to ask at this time, but really, do you find that there are more people, rather than sending people to, here's a program, every 30 people that come here have to adapt to this program, it's not happening that way. It's more of, here's where you're going, however, the program will adapt to you.
Well, that would be nice if it was happening. And I think where we have the biggest deficit, to be honest, is we have all kinds of programming for people when they're first willing to talk about their trauma. It's the long-term stuff that we're missing. And that's what you're talking about is
I mean, you have a basis of a program. You have a basis of a program. However, how you deal with that person in their trauma isn't really how you deal with the next person, because
it needs to be individualized.
Yeah. Yeah, there has to be, and I do see that with some of the places. Vida Novus is one, and I was talking with Dr. Bill Jasek from Homewood. Part and parcel of what they're doing is each person who comes in, there's that common denominator of a program. However, how they're dealing with each individual, there's that individual program that you get to hear, and then each program is kind of different for everybody else.
Individualized.
Yeah.
For the person, and that's really key because everybody comes with a different basket of needs, and if you're really going to help them get where they need to go, you've got to find ways to meet each of those needs, and also to know which ones to start with.
Yeah, and it's tough too. I mean, you go into a post-traumatic stress disorder program, and in here you have someone who's sexually abused. You obviously aren't going to put them in with a bunch of guys and gals coming back from Afghanistan.
Nope. You
can't do that. You just can't throw them into the same room because it's not a mixed. How much time, Denise? About a minute and a half? 1 minute? Okay, that's one minute. All right. I do want to remind everyone that next week on the show, that another big bloke that comes onto the program once a month. You saw his commercials during this program. John Haynes will return to Living Clean for his monthly visit. He is the director of Vida Novus, and always want to remind everyone that no matter what you're going through, there's always hope.
Yes,
always hope. Don't ever give up before your miracle happens. And for Debbie and everyone here at Living Clean, I'm Glenn Allen. And, I just want to thank everyone for calling in. I want to thank you all for watching, and wish you all a good night. You said something.
Living Clean has been brought to you by Vida Novus Treatment Center and Addictions 911. Living Clean is a presentation of the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.